to us. She's still working on her first path. And as such, she is doing her third project, which is the second speech where she's already received feedback. The purpose of this project is for the member to learn or review basic research methods and present a well-organized, well-researched speech on any topic. Roz, is that the correct project that you're working on?
There seemed to be some confusion when we were discussing it earlier. So I am working on this project where I did the research. So what you're reading is correct for what I have.
Okay, gotcha. So the purpose of the project is for the member to learn or review basic research methods and present a well-organized, well-rehearsed, well-researched speech on any topic. The time is 5 to 7 minutes, and her title is the Blue Light Special. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Lisa. So ladies, please help me welcome Roz with the Blue Light Special.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster. I will be sharing my screen in just a moment. It seems as if my presentation disappeared just as soon as I needed it to be available. So I'm just relaunching it. I've got it up and I am going to share my screen. So share screen, and this is what I'm sharing. You can see that. I'm gonna click on present and I'll get started. The Blue Light Special. I am not discussing sales at Kmart today, but I am going to tell you what is so special about blue light. But first, a science lesson. Are you ready? When you hear the word light, what do you think of? Maybe sunshine or flipping a switch in your home. But what is light? Do you know? Light from all sources, whether natural or electronic, is actually electromagnetic radiation of varying wavelengths on the electromagnetic spectrum. There are both non-visible and visible light. Infrared, X, and UV rays are the types of invisible light, or I should say non-visible light, that we're familiar with. So the visible light spectrum is very small by comparison. Within the visible light spectrum, each wavelength is represented by a color. Sunlight is made up of red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet light. I bet that sounds familiar. When combined, these become the white light that we see. White light is basically colorless light that is just in the air. And it's what we see when we're outside. It's daylight. It contains all of the wavelengths of the visible light spectrum in equal intensity. What we refer to when we say blue light also includes indigo and violet. They make up about 1/3 of white light. Of all the colors in the visible light spectrum, blue light has the strongest impact on us because of the way it interacts with our skin and our eyes. Due to our modern lifestyle, it also has a negative impact on our well-being. Now that the science lesson is over, let's learn how not to go blind. So, where is blue light? It's everywhere. It's in sunlight. That's where we get the most of it. It's in LED and fluorescent lighting. It's most notably in our electronic devices. The screens on our computers and tablets, they emit a very significant amount of blue light. Do you know why the sky is blue? It's all about the wavelengths. So blue light is high energy visible light, And these high energy rays, they move all about and they scatter more easily than the other light rays. And this is why on a cloudless day, the sky appears to be blue. Don't our eyes protect us? Well, yes and no. Anatomically speaking, our eyes do protect us from light and the elements. Just imagine you're outside on a sunny day. So there's visible light and UV rays in the atmosphere, and they're all entering our eye. Well, we have a cornea and a lens, and our cornea is really good at protecting us and keeping about 99% of the UV rays from reaching our light sensitive retina. But blue light, on the other hand, is able to pass through the cornea and the lens and reach the retina. Does that mean eye problems? It could. Studies have shown that too much exposure to the penetrative blue light can damage the retina, leading to vision loss. Increased exposure from screen time can lead to macular degeneration later in life. More research is needed to determine just how much is too much. And these devices only emit a fraction of the blue light that comes from the sun. However, the difference is with our electronic devices, we spend a lot of time with them and we usually hold them really close to our faces. Is too much screen time a bad thing? Of course it is. We've all heard it ever since we were a kid. Now, remember that the sky is blue because the blue light scatters and is all over the place? Well, because the blue light scatters, it means that our eyes have to work harder to focus it. And too much time in front of a screen can lead to something called digital eye strain. Some of the symptoms might be sore eyes or irritated eyes. They can even cause us to have difficulty focusing. The World Health Organization says that 80% of vision impairment is actually avoidable. You should avoid using your digital devices at night. Did you know that blue light can block the production of melatonin? It can disrupt your circadian rhythm, causing sleepless nights, tiredness, and even leading to a weakened immune system. Oh boy, isn't there any good news? Of course, not all blue light is bad. It is well documented that some blue light exposure is actually good for our health. Research has shown that high energy visible lights boost alertness, help memory, cognitive function, and elevates mood. There's even light therapy that's used to treat SAD, which is a type of depression. Hospitals also use phototherapy with blue light to treat jaundice in babies. Notice how that little one has protection over his eyes. That was a lot of information. Now what? What can you do? You can do more than you think. You can actually stop some of that blue light from getting to your retina. Whether you have an Android or an iPhone, you probably already have a built-in filter on your device. Just go into your settings and look for it and turn it on. You can also get blue light blocking glasses or add special lenses to your glasses, or you can get a special screen protector that you can physically put on your device. These tools will help you to prevent digital eye strain, help you to sleep better at night, and can protect you from vision loss. You can break up your screen time or use your screens less. We all know what 20/20 vision is. I want you to remember 20/20/20. So here's what you do. You take a 20-second break every 20 minutes and you focus on something that is 20 feet away. If you do that, I promise you, you will feel a world of difference. Try to spend some time outside every day, even if it's just for a few minutes. Soak in a few of those sunny rays, and that natural blue light can bring you a ton of benefits, including good sleep and good moods. By now, you understand that blue light is a part of white light and it's everywhere. And because of the way it interacts with our eyes and our skin, we should protect ourselves and limit our exposure. Be mindful of nascent blue light technologies that might be on the market. And please remember to enjoy the many health benefits when used responsibly. I hope that you choose to take a step to protect yourself in our brave new world. We have dangers that did not exist in the past. And with technology comes responsibility. As I was researching for this project, I came across a quote by a Norwegian historian and political scientist. Here is some food for thought. Technology is a useful servant, but a dangerous master. Thank you. That concludes my speech, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Rosa. I love that 2020.
Thank you,
I'll have to
Tina.
remember that when I'm sitting at work staring at my computer all day long. Thank you for that
Please do.
informational speech. Next speaker is Stephanie. Stephanie, are you here yet? No, Stephanie's not here. Okay, ladies, well, we're good at adapting. So we'll move on into our table topic session. I'd like to remind the table topic master to give Lisa time to finish her evaluation of Rosamund. So ladies, please help me welcome our table topic master, Diana, our president.
Thank you very much. Before I start the table topics, I do want to remind our guests, if you would please send your contact information to Lisa via the chat room so that she has your information if you don't mind. So please go ahead and do that. For table topics, kind of came off the top of the hat here and started thinking, what can I do today? You kind of look around your own adventures and what's happened to you lately. So I'm going to share something and then we'll ask some questions about it. I had the pleasure of this past weekend of doing an MRI on Brody the bear from a Brevard Zoo and be able to have that contact with Brody. So my questions is going to revolve around the zoos and your experience with zoos. So do I have a volunteer now that you know the topic? Who's brave enough to raise their hand? Tina. All right. This one's going to be, should be very easy for you, Tina. If you could be any zoo animal, what animal would you be and why?
Madam Table Topic Master, what animal would I be and why? I've often thought about this question numerous times, especially as a child. The things that I've thought about as an adult are probably not nice things, so I'll stick with what I wanted to be as a child. A bird. I like birds. They seem to be so carefree, especially the verse in the Bible that talks about the birds never have to worry about what they're going to eat because the Father is always going to feed them. It's like, so all they have to do is just worry about praise. And if they're fast enough, they'll get away from the praise. But birds can be so beautiful, just like flowers. There's all sizes, all different colors. We have birds that can fly and birds that can't fly. Are they called a bird if they can't fly? I've always wondered about that. But a bird is one animal I would love to be, especially the bird of all birds, the eagle. How high it can soar in the sky and it's up there all by itself, poking out its chest because it knows no one else can come this high. So I would love to want to be a bird because birds are beautiful. They have beautiful voices. And that's the animal I would like to be. Madam Table Topic Master.
Thank you very much. Next volunteer. All right, Denise. What is your favorite zoo animal?
Thank you, Master Table Topic. I think I got that right. Thank you. My favorite animal at the zoo would have to be the sloth. I have always been intrigued by their slowness and their carefree attitude. I've always wanted to actually experience and go to the zoo and hold one, but they just look so cuddly and just would make you feel warm. I think holding them, if you ever see, they have claws at the end of their arms. Oh, I lost you.
We still
Dakota
have-
called in. Are you here?
We're still here, Denise.
Oh, okay. I'm so sorry. I can't find you right now. Hold on.
Well, we still have you.
Oh, you do?
Yes, ma'am. So you can go ahead and tell us about the sloth, and then you can
Oh,
look.
okay. So I apologize. So I love the sloth. I love their slowness. They're calming. They're just relaxing. They have no care in the world. It could take an hour for them to put their arm up on a tree, and that's all they achieve for the day. If you ever go to the zoo, that would be the sloth. That's what I would like. I know I'm short on time and I'm losing my words, so I'm going to say that would be my favorite animal, the sloth.
Thank you, Denise. And I'll have to remember, I'll think about you when I see the sloth at the zoo.
I know, I love them.
All right, Julie, what is your least favorite animal at a zoo?
Madam Topic Master, I think the crocodile is the least favorite because I heard horrible stories about crocodiles. But let me switch to my favorite animal. Guess what is my favorite animal? Elephant. Elephant. And even though that's not me. Even though this is a nascent question for me, because nobody asked me ever what kind of animal I would want to be, I would definitely want to be an elephant because they have the brain. They don't eat other animals. They are vegetarian. They are not afraid of any other animals, but other animals are afraid of elephants. So I would like to be elephant, especially because of the brain function. The elephants are going old and the brain is still working. And Julie is getting old and the brain is getting slower. And even though I was an English teacher, I have no idea what animal Denise was talking about. So I have to look it up in the dictionary. Back to Toastmaster Diana.
Thank you very much, Julie. Would one of our guests like to take a question? Roz is volunteering you.
I'll take one.
You will take a question. All
Yes,
right.
I will.
Can you tell us about one of your zoo adventures that comes to mind?
Yes. I think I'd like to also speak about one of my least favorite animals at the zoo. So I think one of my least favorite animals at the zoo has to be the monkey. And I don't particularly have any bad experiences with a monkey, but however, I have heard horror stories of my mother's own experiences at the zoo with this animal. So she told me that one day when she was at the zoo, she was at the monkey's cage and she got too close. Then all of a sudden it reached out and grabbed her arm, and she was a small child and it wasn't letting go, and her parents were far away. So then somebody noticed and they came and they tried to pull the monkey off of her, and the monkey pulled back. So what happened is that her arm got torn up, and finally and thankfully they could get the monkey off, but she was hurt. So after hearing those stories, I make sure to steer clear from the monkey's cage. That's my least favorite animal at the zoo.
Thank you very much for giving us a very unique story. I appreciate that.
Yes.
Sherry, are you willing to take one?
Sure, I will.
All right. What type of zoo do you like to visit?
None. I don't like the zoo. I just, I suppose from research, and then doing those fillers. I'm sorry, but I do not like the zoo because I feel that it is not a good place for the animals. It's not their natural habitat, and they're in cage or in jails. So I would not particularly, I don't even go to the zoo. I'm not fond of the idea of the animals being in a cage or in a habitat that is not their natural environment. I strongly believe that they should be free. I wouldn't mind going on perhaps a, what is it called? Where you explore in Africa, I forget. It's not coming to me because my brain is like a sloth, old, slow to function. And I am definitely not a newbie, not budding. What is the word for today? Nascent? I am not emerging.
Thank you so much.
You are welcome. I give you back the floor, madame.
And I think the word you were looking for was safari.
Thank you. You see, I'm a turtle.
Your turn. All right, I have one more question. Who would like to have it? All right, Roz. This question is, what is your favorite zoo and where is it?
I feel conflicted. So my new favorite zoo is the Brevard Zoo, which I felt like was in my backyard when I lived in Melbourne. I've only visited once or 1.5 times. I did a 3K where I walked around the zoo, and another time I got to visit the zoo. And I think I'm a little biased because I got to feed the giraffes when I was at the Brevard Zoo, and it was absolutely fantastic. It was a ripoff buying pieces of lettuce, but having the giraffe tongues come out of their mouth and curl around the lettuce and just munch on it, and they just seemed so cuddly. I wanted to hug them. I wasn't allowed to, but I wanted to. The toss up is from my other old hometown, which is in New York, and the Bronx Zoo, which is ginormous. It is one of the largest zoos I've ever seen. I don't know how it stacks up in the country or the world, but it's a great big place and it's fantastic and there's lots to learn. I took several school trips there as a child and I went a few times as an adult. So a toss up between the Bronx Zoo and the Brevard Zoo.
Thank you very much. And we have one more. Lisa would like to have one now. Lisa, can you tell us about your favorite zoo memory?
I'm so glad that you asked me that question because that was what I was going to answer regardless of what the question was. One of my most favorite and awe-inspiring moments happened at a small zoo in Richmond, Virginia. I was there with my half-sister and our children, and we were just walking around, and the zoo is not particularly noteworthy, but one thing that they did do is they did a lot of things where they tried to create the natural environment of the animals. And we were walking away from the lions when there began to be a roar. And the roar got louder and louder and louder. And then it turned out that there was 2 lions that were roaring. And I believe it was the females that were doing it. And it was so loud, and those of you who live on the Space Coast understand it may be an exaggeration, but this is the only thing that I can liken it to, is it was like hearing the space shuttle take off. The roar was so loud that people all over the zoo came running to see the lions and to see what was going on. I don't really know what was going on. All I know is that they were roaring and making a lot of noise. And these two females, they were kind of like, they were laying on top of this thing and they just were going back and forth. And so there was never any silence, because when one quit, the other started, and it was just like this constant roar. It was amazing. And I am reminded of a missionary friend who talked about a lion cornering him somewhere. And his title was, for his book and for a speech that he did, was called Run to the Roar. And he was saying that he shocked the animal by running to it, and instead of running away and becoming obviously something fun to chase. So I'll never forget the memory and that thought of where this run to the roar, because I saw people run to the roar at the zoo. Of course, they were safe in doing so, but it was a fascinating day. Madam Topic Master.
Thank you very much, Lisa, for sharing. And Roz, I was in that 3K also for several years now, so I probably saw you somewhere along the line. What I would like to do at this time, we're going to kind of vote on the best speaker for table topics. So if you would chat to me who you felt gave the best speech, and then I'll tell the winner at the end. So start typing, ladies, and let me know your thoughts. I will relinquish back over to our Toastmaster of the day. Tina?
Yes, that's me. I'm so busy trying to vote. Yes, that's me. Give me 1 minute while I type this name in here. I hope I spelled it right. Thank you, Madam Table Topic Master. And thank you everyone for your input on our Animal Day. It's now time for our general evaluation session. Our general evaluator will conduct this session, and our speaker will find out areas where she excelled and some challenges she may want to pay close attention to. So please help me welcome our general evaluator, Toastmaster. I'm sorry, where's my Julie? There you are, Toastmaster
Yes.
Julie. Sorry about that.
Here I am. As a general evaluator, the Toastmaster Club gives gifts to the speakers. And this is very, very useful. We can learn from the feedback that the speakers from now on are going to give in open. So the first evaluation is a speech evaluation, and Lisa is going to evaluate the wonderful speech that Rose gave. So let's welcome Lisa Ryder with her evaluation.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, our guest, and especially Roz. Roz, while you are not a nascent member to speaking, you may be a little more nascent as it pertains to being a member of this club in most recent times. Roz, I enjoyed your speech right from the very beginning because you spoke about the blue light special. Of course, we all were at Kmart thinking, what is she going to talk about? And you even made it that way by your graphic that made us think, oh yeah, where's the blue light? Where's the special? What are we going to get? And then you turned it on its end and went in a completely different direction. That is great and creative and a great way to draw an audience in by giving them something that they're familiar with and then causing them to pay attention to, oh, it's not about that. And then they get to pay attention to you. So great job on the title, great job on the lead in and the graphic. your speech was about research. And so you obviously demonstrated that you had done a lot of research and a lot of PowerPoint presentation to put all of that together. So fantastic job on all of that. As far as the research aspect of that goes, I don't think that there's anything that you could have done differently regarding the research. Now let's talk about the presentation. I thought your presentation was great. I think you do a great job of leaning in and talking to people or questioning and saying, is this what I really mean? And, or is the blue light really bad? All of that was great. All great gestures, great eye contact, great features of movement and animation in your upper body. Where I would challenge you is so much of your material was on the PowerPoint, and because you were sharing your screen, you were reduced to a 2-inch square that we were busy looking at your material and then trying to look at you. And as your evaluator, I basically focused on you. I think that it would serve you better to put less slides and let more of it be about you, because a lot of that material you could have had in your head and picked out the ones that people really needed the visual to see or to understand. And then you could say the cornea, the eye, and you could do that without having to have a screen, and allow, particularly in this environment of Zoom, allow people to see more of you, because you are the speaker, you are the commodity, you are what is trying to connect and convey. And you're a lot more attractive than PowerPoint slides. Your slides were great. You did a fantastic job. And even doing it that way, and with everything I just said, you did a fantastic job. I just would like to see more of you and not be as focused on material over there. And I think if you either did a little bit of it and then said, okay, now back to me, and then just carried the rest of the material, I think that that would have been the improvement that I would like to see. Fantastic job, great speech, great job on your research, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Lisa, for the very professional feedback. I would like to call on the timekeeper, Tina, next. How did we do on timing?
Madam General Evaluator, here's our timing report for today, ladies. Starting with our speaker, Rosamond, we enjoyed your speech immensely. Your speech was 9 minutes and 10 seconds. I'm not sure if you were able to see me. I wanted to tell you to pin me, but it was 9 minutes and 10 seconds. But it was a great speech, a lot of helpful information. Moving on to our table topics. Everyone was in the prescribed time of table topics, or I should say 4 table topics. Myself, what would I like to be, a bird, for 1 minute 39 seconds. Denise, your favorite animal, the sloth, for 1 minute and 30 seconds. And table topics is 1 to 2 minutes with 30-second leeway on both ends. Your least favorite, Julie, is the crocodile. Eliana, did I get it right?
Yes.
You switched yours to your least favorite, which is the monkey, for 1 minute 8 seconds. Sherry, you talked about how you don't like zoos for 1 minute and 17 seconds. And Rosamond, your favorite zoo for 1 minute 18 seconds. And Lisa, your favorite memory for 2 minutes and 17 seconds. And that's our timers report, ladies. Oh, evaluation, I'm sorry. Julie, almost forgot. Lisa, your evaluation of Rosamond was 3 minutes and 25 seconds. Evaluations are 2 to 3 minutes. So good job, ladies. Everyone did a great job.
Thank you, Tina. Just for the guest's sake, why is it so important to keep the time limit? Because let's imagine that Roz is invited to give a presentation to the CEO, and the CEO is a busy fellow, and she is going to get only 5 minutes. for the presentation. So she will have to really tighten up and make it as juicy as possible within 5 minutes. So that's what we learn through Toastmaster meetings. Now I'm going to ask my friend who has double role today, double role, many roles. Susan, can you say first the R counts and then the grammarian report, or vice versa? It's up to you.
I'm going to go even differently. I'm going to say the word of the day first, because that was my first role. And that's part of the grammarian's role as
Yes,
well. And
right.
it's fine. So for the word of the day, nascent was used by Rosamund. Lisa used it twice. Julie used it. And Sherry snuck it in there too. So good job. I always forget. It's just one of those things that it gives us the opportunity to learn a new word or use it in context, and that exercises our vocabulary growth. Next, I am going to go through the grammarian's roles. And I know I stumbled onto double clutch at the beginning. By the time I filled out the form, I don't remember which word it was that I was hung up on. It was in the very beginning during my educational portion. Tina, you had one double clutch when you tripped over the word birds. You said it and repeated it. And one grammatical error. You were talking about the timer is myself. If you're referring to yourself, you likely should have said the timer is me rather than myself. Unless you're talking about me, myself, and I, but I think the appropriate would be me. Rosamund, you had one double, oh, actually two double clutches. You had one when you got caught up over on macular degeneration for the eyes, and another one on electronic devices. I think you hooked up on the devices. Lisa, you had three double clutches. You got hung up on researched versus rehearsed. You got caught up in topic master versus Toastmaster. And she likes to say the word and, so she used and as a double clutch, besides for using it frequently throughout. You also had one opportunity, Lisa, that I thought I heard you talking about a plural. The slides is, when in fact it should be the slides are. I thought it was a plural and it sounded like it should have been are instead of is. The slides is a large part of what you were doing. I think it should be the slides are a larger part. Next, Julie, you had two double clutches. You got caught up on the word animal, and then you had gave twice up. That's my grammarian's report. And then the This is our opportunity to learn where we are using filler words, because instead of starting a sentence with and, so, or and we can start with swallow, breathe, and then speak your sentence. Rosamund, you had one only one. Diana, you have a crutch, and it's called all right. When you're going to start off the sentence or start the day, you start off with all right, and you wouldn't say that if you were writing the sentence. Denise, you had two uhs at the beginning of your sentences and three ums, and you'll get the hang of it, I promise. Just remember to breathe. Eliana, you had three ums during the times you were thinking about the next word. Sherry, three ums and one as you started a sentence. It's just a way to breathe. You can breathe silently, and it's okay. You wouldn't hear it if you just said it silently. And Lisa, you like the word and. Not only did you have the double clutch on it, but you had three ands in your table topic, but only one in your evaluation. So much improved. And that concludes my report, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Susan. Once you are a Toastmaster, you are going to count how many ahs and ums and filler words all the speakers on television and other areas are going to demonstrate. And you will learn to actually control yourself. And this feedback is really, really valuable. As a general evaluator, I want to say that first and foremost, I like the way how we reshuffled the agenda and we filled out the roles so beautifully, so quickly. I really enjoyed the professional speech and the professional feedback. Roz and Lisa, value added to the meetings. I enjoyed the table topics on the fly. I am Diana. I am one of your fans. You created a wonderful, wonderful subject, and we were really doing a good job. Good job. I know I agree with Sherry that the animals really don't belong behind the cage. My favorite elephant and I have a nice picture taken in the San Diego Zoo, beautiful zoo. Behind the fence behind me is the elephant with such a sad face, all by himself. I mean, elephants have to be together, 200 of them. So I agree with you. But on the other hand, the good zoos are wonderful in a way to save species. So remember that. There are many zoos that's their mission, to save animals in general. So the meeting was wonderful, and the functionaries did a good job, and the guests participated. And now I'm going to give it back to Toastmaster of the Day, Tina Smith.
Thank you. Wonderful, wonderful, Julie. You always have kind words and words of wisdom. It's now time for our winner of our table topic session. So Topic Master, let us know who gave the best answer today.
The best answer today was actually given by a guest. Eliana, your speech was wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing with us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. This ends our educational session, table topic, and general evaluation session. So I will now relinquish control to our Vice President of Education, Susan Schultz. So please help me welcome Toastmaster Susan.